ADA compliance. What I want to cover today is website accessibility. Remember this little doohickey, the very, very bottom, if you can see in the left-hand portion of my screen, there's a little user ADA compliant little doohickey there. I want to go through that a little bit with you guys to make sure that you have at least an option, something that I'm using. I just want to show you how it works and how you can set it up. So this came up, it seems like a long time ago, when there were some acupuncturists and other service-based providers, I think, getting sued for not having their websites ADA compliant, there is a whole section in here on. I'm showing you UserWay because that's the one that I use. There are a bunch of other ones. And the only reason I use UserWay is because it was the first one that I found and it's free. The way I'm using it is free. And I am getting messages now to upgrade to get a paid plan. So I probably will do that. But you can at least come in here and learn the setup. And I'm going to show you the front end and the back end so that you have a little bit of familiarity on how to set it up and realize this is not something you need to hire a web designer to do. If you can log into your website, if you have WordPress or whatever, if you can log into your website and I'll show you where to go, you just find an area where you can change the settings. There's a script section and you just pop it in there and I'll show you how easy it is to do. So I don't want you to feel intimidated or like you have to pay someone to do this. You can do this on your own, at least this free little doohickey here. So just to give you like the front end piece, so this is my website at which I'm not practicing acupuncture anymore, so I definitely need to update this. But here is the widget down in the lower left-hand corner, and it stays. It doesn't matter what page I go to, it will stay on that page. So if I go to some other page, it is still there. And so it's set up for the entire site. And then I want to show you why this is important, because it's for people that cannot read or see very well, or they have some other kinds of issues like dyslexia and that kind of thing. And so what the widget does is it gives them options for how to view the information on the web page. And I just want to show you what some of these things are. And these you can adjust. You have some choices on what you put in here, but I'm just going to show you so they can change the contrast, right? So they have the ability, if this makes it easier for them to see, if they're visually impaired, they can use that to change the contrast. So I think it's funny because I spend so much time on colors and fonts and putting everything together exactly the way I want it, whether it's left justified or centered, but they can actually come in here and change it to whatever they want. So here's highlighting links. So if they want to be able to see where the links are more easily, that would show up. They need the text to be bigger. They can control that to a certain degree, so it's easier to see. If the text is too close together, they want to adjust the text spacing, and that makes it easier to read. They can do that. Animations, I don't have any animations on this page. Sometimes animations really make people dizzy or uncomfortable, so they can pause the animations. And these are things anybody can use. You can also hide images, so if that's something that's an issue, you can turn that off. Dyslexia friendly changes the fonts. There's a couple choices here on how that you can do that. So I think that's a really awesome kind of thing. You can also change the fonts to more legible fonts. And then this is cool. You can make the cursor bigger. So I think I'm going to use that. It's nice. So you can also highlight a specific area. This is called a reading mask. So if you are distracted by some of the other things on the page, then you can come in here and you can turn this piece on. And then there's also a reading guide. So if you're scrolling down, maybe there's a lot of text and you wanted to stay in line with what's going on, then you can use that. They can use that reading guide. There are also tooltips. I didn't really see this come up, at least on this page. Line height, they can change. So if it's too compact, it makes it easier to read by changing the line height. That works. Text aligns. You can do centered, left, justified. So I think that's interesting again because I spend so much time putting it exactly the way I want the text to show up. And then saturation is just a changing of the color. So maybe visually impaired needs to have that sort of change in there. So those are the ones that I have set up in this little widget here, but I'll show you inside of UserWay, the back end of UserWay, there are some other options in there. So these are the basics, I think. So pretty cool stuff, right? That you can change around and help people to be able to read things that are on your website. So I just chose this web page. It could be any web page. So now let's take a look at how do we get this widget to show up on all of our web pages. I should have the link somewhere. So just userway.org, and you can come in here and read a little bit more about why this is so important. I 100% think it's important, and everybody should be able to read a web page and use the website. And anything that we can do to help people do that, I want us to be able to do. But I also think there's a lot of fear mongering here about, lawsuits. Is your website at risk for a lawsuit? You're asking them if you should use them and if your website if you're going to get in trouble or not. And so they have a little bit of skin in the game here where they are interested in you paying for their widget. Of course, they might tell you that you need more than you actually need. So just be aware of that. But I do think it's important to have something on there. So please do your due diligence and take a look at that. So let me show you. So I have my UserWay account and I have the dashboard open right here. So again, I have the free account and I have 2 websites here that I'm not using it on there right now, but here's points of origin. This is the one where I actually have the product, UserWay, the free account, and it tells me my accessibility score is 48%. Can you guys see that? Let me make it a little bit bigger here. See if that works. And then, of course, they want me to upgrade to Pro, but let's go ahead and take a look inside and see. And I will see if I can move my video out of the way. Hide video panel. There we go. Okay, so up on the top menu, you can see the different things that we'll go through here. But I just want you to see. So it's telling me my plan. I've got the free widget. I can upgrade to Pro. We can look at pricing in a second here. It's telling me my accessibility score. So it's basically saying, you know what, you got some stuff on there. You're 48% of the way there, but there's also stuff that you should really include. And then it's telling me that I am at a high risk for a lawsuit. So again, I don't want you to panic or anything like that. Do your due diligence. I'm not a lawyer. You have to do your due diligence and consult and figure out what you want to do. But I also think that some of the stuff that you get when you look at what's missing. So you get information here that you can then go in and you can make these changes to your website. So if I look at the full report, it's telling me some of the things that I'm missing. I don't know what all these indications are over here, but links that lack descriptive text. Okay, I can go into my website and make sure that my links have a descriptive text. Like something I could do personally. A new tab or window opens without warning the user. Okay, almost all my links that go to another website are obviously going to open in a new window. Do I have to warn them? Okay, I can put a little parentheses, opens in a new window. I could do that. Duplicate ID values, no idea what that is. So I'd have to look into that. So some of these things I would just take and I would Google, or I'd come back to the UserWay website and I try to find out what they mean. Heading level skipped. So that might have to do with H1, H2, H3 tags. Not sure. So these are things where you could come in here and you could go through and change your website yourself. So I like that you have that ability to look through this stuff. So that's where I got that. See the full report. And then here is the pricing plan. There is the monthly, $49 a month, $41 a month, and 2-year plan, $38. This is billed as one-time payments. So for each year. And I think this is fairly comparable to just about anything else out there. I've looked around. I think it might even be on the lower side. And maybe with AI, things are going to come down. I don't know, but just be aware that have a starting point and then you can take a look around and decide which one to go with. But free is always good. They do have a free trial now. I'm not sure if they still have the free little widget that you can keep. You can get a report, download the full report, which tells you why you're going to end up in jail. So again, take that with a grain of salt. Stats, appearance, you can change. So I showed you how I have my widget set up, but you could, which is this selection here, but you could have a little bit different version, a smaller version. You could have the nano widget, which is much, much smaller. headless widget. Oh, you got to contact them if you want to chop the head off your widget, I guess. And then there's also different customizations with the different layouts, and then what is on the main menu. So I showed you what's on mine, and you can upgrade and you can get other things on there as well. And then you can change the language that is on the widget as well. And there is a way that you can also change where the button appears and then the color of the button. So you have the hex code, the color code for your brand. You come in here, so I have that branded color right there, but you could, put any color in there so it matches your website. And then you can also choose what type of button. So I have this button selected, but there are other ones here that you can choose from if you wanted to use something different. You can also change the size of the button here. So if I wanted a larger button than the small version, it's just up to you. And definitely take a look at how this shows up on a desktop, on a tablet, and on a phone. Because on a phone, sometimes these things can be really too big because they stay with the scroll and they can cover up things that you want people to be able to see, especially if it's stuck in one spot. It's pinned rather to one spot. So this is where you pin it. So I have mine pinned in the lower left, but you could pin it somewhere else on your web page. And then you can also scoot it in and up a little bit. So like for me, I didn't want it like totally stuck in that lower left corner. So I just increased the number of pixels to move it over to one side and then up a little bit. But you can play around with that and just see how it looks. It's literally, you come in here, you click the button, you save it, you go back to your web page, and you can see what it looks like right away. So it's easy to adjust in real time and make sure you have it exactly the way you want it. And the same is true for the color and everything else. You can check it and see if you like it. I think I had mine purple at first because that's more of the color with my website. So if you look at my website here, you go back to the home page. There's like the purple stuff in here, and so I thought I would want purple. But what happens is when I came down into the footer areas, it would disappear. So you want to be aware of where it's going to show up when people are scrolling through different things. Make sure when you put the widget on there, you go and you scroll down through a few pages and make sure that it shows up the way you want it to. And then add-ons here, I don't have any of the add-ons, but you can enable some other things. Again, there are different price plans for this stuff. And then in settings, enabled on mobile. Oh, sound effects is off. Basic. So here is the script. So this is the script that I'm given. It's this one line of text that I just come in here and I copy. And I could click this button where it says share code with your webmaster, your designer, whoever's in charge of your website. But I just want to show you that it can be done yourself. So you can send it to somebody, or you can click the copy button or just highlight it the way I just did. Either way, you're going to copy that script. And then let me show you what you're going to do with it. So I'll just leave this open here. So this is, again, my website. And then I would come into my website builder. And every website build, so I have several websites in here. So this is my main website right here. And every website, whether you're WordPress or Squarespace, or it doesn't matter, you're going to have something in here that is like the website manager or settings, something like that. So if I just click website manager, I'm going to come in here, and for me, again, you'll have something that'll look a little bit different. You'll see website settings or script settings or SEO settings, something like that. What I want is the script settings, but yours might show up nestled in one. It might be hidden in one of these other sort of things, but it's going to say settings somewhere. So let's get my video back here. Show video panel. Yeah. Just want to make sure that got this going here. So you're going to go to script. You're going to find wherever the script settings are. And then this looks like gibberish because it is. You're just going to come in here, and if there was nothing in here, I would just come in and I'm going to hit paste. For me, it's Command V, or I could do the little doohickey here and paste. It's not going to do that. So I'm going to just do Command V, and there it is. There's my script right there. So my script shows up right there. I already have it in here. And it's hard to see because there's another piece. I have a few other things in here as well, you have to accept cookies and that kind of stuff, which you didn't see that, but when you go to my website for the first time, there's a cookie kind of thing. But if I come up here and just go to the right, you will see I have my UserWay. You can see the words userway.org widget is right in there. So don't let this stuff scare you. It looks funky and everything. I just went to the right. There's other things that I have in here. So all you're going to do is paste that in your script settings, and then there should be a save button. You would just save it, and then you come back to your website and you would just hit refresh, just refresh, reset the website, and then it should show up there with any of the changes that you made. And if you don't like the color, you don't like the shape, the size, where it's located, then you just come back into your UserWay dashboard and you go through all the different settings up here and you can make those changes. So hopefully that helps you guys come up with something at least to get started with. And then if you have questions about how to do it, you can definitely ask in the group here. None of us are experts on this, and so you should never take any advice that we give about something as important as this. Like, you do need to do your due diligence. All right, you guys, that is my thing for Live with Lisa on Friday. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and rest of your month. All right, bye, guys.